An unsettling discovery in Philadelphia. Listen to this. Local media reports a bomb squad is investigating after local police found a van packed with explosives and other suspicious cargo last night. That discovery comes as the city remains on heightened alert following nights of unrest stemming from the fatal police shooting of a young black man who charged at them with a knife. Joining us now to discuss is Heather Heidelbaugh, Republican candidate for Pennsylvania Attorney General. Thank you so much for joining me, Heather. I want to get your thoughts on a lot of this stuff. I'm going to start with this one. Philadelphia Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw is pledging to release the video evidence, body cam footage, of their Walter Wallace Jr. shooting and to conduct a thorough investigation into the deadly shooting. Listen to this.
We plan on releasing premise history, audio of 911 calls, and body cam footage of the discharging officers in the near future. Before that happens, however, we'll be meeting with members of Mr. Wallace's family to ensure they get an opportunity to view the materials first.
So we live in this world where everyone wants to jump to conclusions, right? And everyone already has the information. We want to already have, court without a judge and jury. And everyone wants to see the body cam footage. They want to hear the calls. What would you do if you were Attorney General? Is this the right call to release this as soon as possible?
So what happens is you should do an investigation, and sometimes this takes a little while. I understand why they probably want to release this right away because we have a situation which is incendiary in Philadelphia. People are taking to the streets. The shops are being boarded up. I'm hoping that the reason to release the video is to show that the police officers acted reasonably. And this gentleman was very disturbed and they could not get him under control. But it's going to be only one piece of the evidence. There has to be a full investigation.
It is hard to see because, again, even without releasing that, everyone has seen, or at least you hope, the cell phone video that's already captured this event where you see a man charging at police with a knife. And if you think a knife is not dangerous, take a look at what happened in Nice, France. So clearly, this escalated to some point already. We've seen it. Nevertheless, the looting, the massive looting and protests were sparked by the shooting. Seemed to die down, though, Wednesday evening after authorities enforced a curfew. But the governor there, your governor, Tom Wolf, calling the violence peaceful protests. Watch this.
And my staff have been in constant communication since last night with the folks in Philadelphia. And the hope is that doesn't escalate into anything more than the peaceful protests that I think this kind of situation brings out.
As a leader, why is that message so important? Why do we keep hearing this here, peaceful protest?
Well, it's just ridiculous. We know what happened in Philadelphia yesterday. What happened was the store owners all went out and had to board up their businesses. Now, let's think about this. What about the poor elderly people that don't have cars in Philadelphia that can't go somewhere else out into the suburbs and their pharmacy has been boarded up? Their grocery store has been boarded up. Their little shops in their community, in order for them to live in this tough time of COVID, have been boarded up. And, I think the statistic was at least 12 local pharmacies were completely looted. Are those pharmacies going to come back? Are these national chains going to stay in these neighborhoods? Are they're going to restock their neighborhoods? Where are people going to get their prescriptions? There should be strong statements about this looting. This is absolutely ridiculous. This was a tragic situation with a mentally ill person whose family were obviously at their wits' end, couldn't control the situation, and he came charging at the police with a knife. It's a sad situation.
And it didn't stop there. Last night, and officers were injured. I just want to bring up officers were injured. Projectiles were thrown at them, according to Danielle that we saw earlier. And then get this. She says possible blood was thrown on police officers last night. I mean, it keeps going.
Well, yeah, and you could get an infection, obviously, from that. And there was a police officer who broke her leg because she was hit by a car. And then you have a situation where they find a van full of explosives. The Attorney General of Pennsylvania in June took jurisdiction because there were explosives being rendered at these ATM machines. And the Attorney General's been silent. He's been standing by the district attorney. The district attorney has been silent. These people use the bully pulpit for every single time they disagree with some federal policy. Why won't they take the bully pulpit and say, we are going to come out strongly against lawlessness. We want this looting stopped. These people in these communities will have nothing to come back to if all their businesses are gone.
I want to switch gears with you. Last question for you. Pennsylvania swing state, a key state in this election. Republicans are challenging the mail-in ballot rules in your state because for now, the U.S. Supreme Court is leaving in place a state Supreme Court decision allowing ballots received up to 3 days after the election can be counted even if the postmark is not legible. What's happening with the legality of the ballots and what's the latest with this Supreme Court case? What do you think of it?
Well, this is completely untenable. We can't just extend voting for 3 days with no postmarks. I mean, this puts a real question into the integrity of the vote. And these are unmanned extra mailboxes. They're not U.S. mail. They're ballot drop boxes, unmanned. This is just absolutely a ridiculous situation to occur in the fifth largest state. We need security and finality in our elections. And people can go to the grocery store. They should definitely vote. We just had a situation in Pennsylvania in which they were sending out corrected ballots in Allegheny County. And they sent them out on October 19th, and the voters received them on October 21st. So the mail appears to be working perfectly fine. There should be no reason at all to give an extra 3 days to count ballots.
Yeah, that's a whole nother situation, by the way, the one that you brought up, too. And that's a big one. I think some 30,000 votes were incorrect at some point, or ballots were incorrect at some point. Heather Heidelbaugh, good to see you, and thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.